Hello guys, I'm Ellen. I am a single mother of 2 wonderful kids. I won't mention their names or ages because I want to protect their privacy. Besides, they are not relevant to my story anyway. This story is about how my husband and sister betrayed me in the worst way possible. Yes, my own sister Kristen slept with my husband, Ryan. According to Ryan, it was a huge mistake he made when I was recovering from postpartum depression. I was a mess, especially because I raised Kristen when our parents died young. In one swoop, I had lost my whole family. Ryan's father, Daniel, was not at all happy with what happened, but his mother, Sarita, was over the moon. You see, she hated me from the very beginning. I wasn't beautiful like my sister, so she preferred my sister over her. The only reason I couldn't cut contact with Sarita was because of my kids. I didn't want them to miss their grandma. When I was divorcing Ryan, she said, "I'm so glad my son has gotten rid of his ugly wife. I wonder what he had ever seen in her. It doesn't matter now anyway. No matter what she used, my son showed us that he would ultimately choose the better woman." I'm sitting right here, Sarita, and for your information, I am the one leaving Ryan. He has been begging for reconciliation and doesn't even want to be with Kristen. He's still with her because of you. I would obviously encourage my son to have a relationship with a good woman. Besides, since he slept with her, it's only fair that he marries her. Once the 2 of you are divorced, they will get married. I will finally have a daughter-in-law who is worthy of Ryan.
How can you say that, Sarita? How can you support your son cheating on his wife? This is insane. You should be scolding him and not encouraging him to carry on this horrible relationship.
Daniel tried his best to defend me, but Sarita ignored him completely. She berated me every chance she got and made sure to remind me how my sister stole my husband. My sister only added fuel to the fire. She was over at my ex-in-law's house, often on Sarita's invitation. She said, "Does it make you mad to see me here, Ellen? This was your in-law's house once. It would be heartbreaking for you to see me as the new wife of Ryan."
Stop trying to rile her up, Kristen. You don't even compare to her. What are you getting by insulting Ellen like that?
Don't talk to your fiancé like that, Ryan. She is telling the truth. Besides, she's a way better girl than Ellen. I'm afraid Kristen will feel uncomfortable if Ellen keeps coming by. I was wondering if Ellen would stop coming here.
Mum, the kids are too young to be without their mother. If they come here, she comes here as well. I won't stop having my kids over just because Kristen is uncomfortable. My kids come first.
The 3 of them would just argue while I'd shut my mouth and let them. I didn't have the energy to give them an answer. I no longer cared about either of them, and only came over to bring my kids. Ryan did try his hardest to still have some relationship with me. However, I always told him that he wasn't anything but my kid's father. Yes, I was hurt, and I refused to let him hurt me again. Daniel, his father, was the only one who didn't make any mistakes, so I had a cordial relationship with him. About 6 months after my divorce, Ryan and Kristen set a wedding date. Sarita and Kristen gladly informed me about it when I visited with my kids. Both of them were over the moon, while Ryan and Daniel didn't show any sign of happiness. I simply congratulated them and left after some time. In my heart, I was still hurting, so the news of their wedding sent me back to dark times. However, nothing had prepared me for what was about to happen. I should tell you guys that I am a designer for a local boutique with moderate fame. I even made my own wedding dress when I got married. Plus, I made the wedding dresses of a few other family members. I wanted to make my sister's wedding dress before she betrayed me, but now it wasn't a remote possibility. That was until I was hit with a weird demand. One day when I went to my ex-in-laws with my children, I found Kristen and Sarita having a deep conversation. Kristen was even crying. She said, "You know what, Sarita? I'm still worried about my wedding dress. Remember the one I liked at the bridal shop? That dress is way out of my budget. I love that dress and don't even want to try anything else. I don't know what to do. I can't stop crying about it."
Don't cry, Kristen. I hate to see you crying.
You don't have to be so anxious about the dress. What if I tell you that I have a way to get you the dream wedding dress? Oh my god, are you sure about that, Sarita? I'm not like Ellen, you know. I simply won't demand anything from you. The dress is super expensive and I don't want you to empty your bank account.
Why should we need to buy a dress, dear? We have Ellen for the job. She can make your dress, you know. I was dumbfounded by what Sarita said. The look of horror on my face was priceless, and I wasn't the only one with that look. Even Daniel looked extremely shocked. It took me some time to process what Sarita had said. After a while, I said, I don't think I heard you right, Sarita. Did you just say that I'm going to design and make Kristen's wedding dress? Are you deaf or something, Ellen? My God, with every passing day it makes me even more happy that my son left you. Yes, I want you to make Kristen's wedding dress, and you will do it for free. Absolutely not, Sarita. I'm not going to make a wedding dress for my cheating sister who stole my husband. How can you even think I would agree with this? See that, Sarita? I knew Ellen couldn't stand me. She can make beautiful dresses, but she still wouldn't make me a wedding dress. She's mad that Ryan chose me over her. She doesn't even care that I'm her sister. Listen to me, Ellen. You need to quit your drama and make the dress. Kristen will be family very soon. Hell, she is already family to us. You can't say no to your child's grandmother and stepmother. If you don't make the dress, I won't let your kids have a relationship with us. Then you can go tell them why they are no longer welcome here. As if the day couldn't get any worse. My ex-mother-in-law threatened to stop contact with my kids if I didn't make the wedding dress. I was reeling from the sheer audacity of the women in front of me. My sister did nothing but add fuel to the fire. It was then that Daniel spoke. He said, This is ridiculous, Sarita. You can't dangle the kids in front of Ellen to make her do your bidding. What you are asking of her is outrageous. I can't and won't support this. Well, I don't care. My future daughter-in-law is upset because she can't buy her dream wedding dress. I am being a good mother-in-law and helping her out. If Ellen wants her and her kids to stay in this family, she needs to wake up and do what I say. Yeah, if she is so rude to me, just imagine how bad her kids will be. I can't believe I have to tolerate them after I get married. If Ellen can't be civil and learn some manners, I would have to convince Ryan to give up custody of the kids. Kristen and Sarita made my blood boil. My witch sister actually threatened to separate my kids from their father. While I hated Ryan with all my being, our kids still loved him. They would be devastated if he never saw them again. I was furious. Then and there I made a plan. I would make the frickin' wedding dress for Kristen, I said. So, this is how low you have stooped now? Good to know, Kristen and Sarita. Since making the wedding dress is so important to you two, I will do it. You will have your dream wedding dress, Kristen. Ellen, you don't have to take their threats seriously. They are absolutely insane. I won't allow them to bully you into doing this. You'll be fine, Daniel. My sister is desperate to walk down the aisle in a dress made by me. I guess she needs a reminder of the fact that she has successfully stolen my husband. I will grant her this wish. I will do it for my kids. There. It wasn't that hard now, was it? You need to go home and start preparing. It needs to be perfect. My new daughter-in-law will have as many fittings as she likes, so you better start making it soon. You don't have to worry about that, Sarita. It will fit her perfectly. She is my sister after all. I know her to the bone. The dress will fit her perfectly. Kristen was smirking at me the whole time. Sarita looked pretty proud of her work, while Daniel still looked pretty horrified. Soon, Kristen and Sarita went on to discuss the details of the wedding. My children were completely forgotten outside. Daniel and I got up to play with them. They were sad that their grandma didn't want to spend time with them anymore. Daniel could feel their pain. He said, Their kids are starting to notice Sarita's absence. I'm so sorry I couldn't stop this from happening, Ellen. I can't believe they are being so cruel towards you. No, Daniel, don't be sorry for them. What they did is completely on them. You don't have to apologize. I can just see what a doting grandma Sarita is. It's helped me decide on the issue. Are you sure you want to go through with the wedding dress? You don't have to. You know, I'll handle Sarita. She won't bother you. Don't worry, Daniel. I'm not doing this for nothing. Kristen will have the biggest surprise of her life with the wedding dress.
I won't let her get off that easily. Daniel understood that I had a plan, so he just smiled and didn't press the issue any further. I knew what I had to do. The plan had formed spontaneously, but the details developed over the months. Yes, I made Kristen her dream dress. It was perfect in all forms. As I said, I work in the fashion design industry, albeit for a small boutique. Still, I had my skills. Anyone could see that. Sarita and Kristen came over for the first fitting just a month before the wedding. Kristen tried on the dress and it fit her perfectly. She said, "Do you see this? The wedding dress fit me well, so well on the first try. You know, it only shows how deserving I am of being Ryan's bride." "That is so true, Kristen. You look wonderful, and finally my son will have a worthy bride by him. You and Ryan are the perfect couple. I only wish you two had gotten together sooner." "Well, they did find each other, didn't they? I'm glad the dress fits you, Kristen. I didn't work hard on it for nothing. I hope it's up to your standards." "I'm surprised, actually, Ellen. I know you have always been jealous of me. Hell, you didn't even want to make me a dress. It must be hard seeing the love of your life marry your sister. I genuinely thought you would ruin my wedding dress or something." I didn't say anything right then. I simply smiled at her and Sarita while they gushed over the dress. I was striking inside. Yes, I made the dress perfectly. But there was still time. Only time would tell what I had in store for them. It was just a day before the wedding. Kristen was having a fun bachelorette party with her friends. I was not invited, of course. So, while she was busy having the time of her life, me and my friends were having a party at home. Kristen had no idea what we were going to do. The next morning, Sarita kept blowing up my phone asking me to bring the dress. She still didn't ask me to bring my children. Sarita was only concerned about the wedding dress her new daughter-in-law would wear. Well, I woke up, dressed up at my best, and took the wedding dress to the venue. My kids stayed at home because there was no way I would allow them to join the drama. I found Sarita outside the dressing room. She looked at me and said, "There you are, Ellen! I almost thought that you wouldn't bring the dress. We know how jealous you can be. Thank God you came." "Of course I came, Sarita. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Where is Kristen? I'd love to give her the dress." "There is no need for that, Ellen. Hand it over to me. I'll give her the dress. You don't have to see her and spoil her mood on this special day." Sarita took the dress from me and left. I waited inside the church where all the guests were seated. As usual, Ryan was trying to talk to me while I ignored him. Only a handful of his friends showed up to the wedding. I knew why they came. Even they were disgusted with Ryan and Kristen. They were just there to support me and my plan. After waiting for a few minutes, I could hear a commotion going on in the hallway. I sat in my seat while others whispered around me. A few people, including me, Ryan and Daniel, rushed to see what happened. We discovered a weeping Kristen and an angry-looking Sarita. Ryan said, "What's wrong here, guys? What happened?" "You are asking what's wrong? Ask your freaking ex-wife! Ask her about what she has done!" "Ellen, what is this about? I'm very confused. What did you do?" I smiled at him and took him further inside the room. There was Kristen's wedding dress laid out in full glory. Everyone was shocked to see the dress. It had some really colourful words written on it. Words like a cheater, homewrecker, husband stealer, thief, liar, manipulator, etc. Me and my friends had a blast painting those words on the dress. I burst into laughter and so did Ryan's friends. Even Daniel was chuckling in the back. Sarita was red-faced and said, "Why the hell are you laughing, Ellen? How dare you do this to Kristen? You're such a jealous and insecure woman that you're trying to ruin Kristen's wedding." "How did I ruin her wedding, Sarita? I simply gave her the dress of her dreams. I did add some finishing touches to it as a designer." "How dare you do this, Ellen? You intentionally made her a bad dress. You ruined her wedding." "You are the one who forced her to make the dress, Sarita. I cannot believe I married such a vile woman. You are the one who threatened to stop contact with the grandkids to make Ellen design the dress." "Why are you crying anyway, Kristen? The words written on the dress are all true. If you had no regrets doing the deed, these words shouldn't bother you, right?" Kristen continued to cry while Ryan was looking down at the floor. Kristen's bridesmaids were all confused and asked me about the matter. Turns out none of them knew that she slept with my husband when we were married. After hearing the full story, they started to berate Kristen for her deeds. Her friends are actually conservatives, which is why Kristen never shared this secret with them. Everyone started to attack Kristen and Sarita. Ryan was actually screaming at Sarita for holding the kids over my head. Daniel also joined in on the fun. Kristen was so under attack that she cried and ran away from the venue. The guards informed us that the bride had gotten into her car and left. Sarita started to attack me, saying, "You are a witch, Ellen! You destroyed my son's life! You are the reason his bride left! How can you be so cruel?" "Stop it, Mum! What you have done is just as vile. You never should have held my kids hostage over Ellen. You forced her to make the wedding dress. I agreed to marry Kristen at your insistence. Now I see that you did it all to ruin Ellen." "Sarita, what happened today is all your fault. You never should have pushed Ellen to make the dress. I can't believe how cruel you have become. I doubt Ellen will let the grandkids come over now." "You're right about that, Daniel. Since I have now seen how little my kids mean to Sarita, I won't be taking them to her. Daniel can meet the kids at my place any time he likes, but Sarita has lost those rights today. I don't want my kids to think they can bully their way to make people do things." "Mum, you used my kids to make Ellen suffer. I'll never forgive you for this. I thank God that Kristen has left on her own. There was no way I would have married her after this. As for you, I don't want to see you again. You have ruined my life enough. I won't let you do it again, to me or my kids." Hearing this, Sarita started to cry out very loudly. She begged everyone to listen to her. It didn't help that now everyone in the guests knew the truth. They were quick to berate both Sarita and Ryan. Meanwhile, I gathered my things and left with Daniel. He wanted no part in this either. We went home to the kids and took them out on a fun tour. Daniel expressed to me that he has been talking to a divorce lawyer. After Sarita's stunt, he was already too disgusted to stay in the marriage. He had contacted my divorce lawyer and filed for divorce. Sarita would be served soon. He also planned to kick her out of serving the papers. The house belonged to him, and there was an ironclad prenup in place. After returning home, my phone started to blow up with texts and calls from Sarita, Kristen and Ryan. Sarita and Kristen called me some colourful things while Ryan was begging for forgiveness. He was again apologising for what he had done to me. This time, he also added that what his mum and Kristen did was utterly shameful. He promised to cut them off after this and really wanted me to give him a chance. I told him to F off. The next day, Daniel called me to tell me that Sarita had been served divorce papers. Apparently, she went apeshit on him and started all the waterworks. Sarita tried to assault him when he asked her to leave the house soon. Daniel is thinking about pressing charges. I have her number blocked, so I don't know if she has tried to get to me. As for Kristen, her friend reached out to me to show their support. They told me that they had no idea about the entire incident. They had cut her off, and even Ryan has ended their relationship very recently. I'm finally satisfied that she got what she deserved. Currently, I'm thinking about switching jobs and moving to a different country to start afresh. Wish me luck, so that I can build a new and better life with my kids.